Throughout history, black cats have both been worshipped as gods as well as feared as demons. They're closely associated with Halloween and crazy superstitions, like how a black cat crossing your path is considered good luck, while in America it's considered bad luck, and how sailors thought that by bringing black cats on board ships, it could protect them at seas. Curiously, wives of sailors also used to keep a black cat at home as good luck. So where do these superstitions and our Halloween celebrations come from? And how can we celebrate Halloween with our cats safely? To answer these questions, we need to travel back in time. Let's start our journey in ancient Egypt, where cats were more than just pets. They were divine beings. Egyptians revered cats, associating them with their goddess Beset, who represented protection, fertility, and motherhood. Cats were so respected that harming one could result in severe punishment, even death. Imagine a world where your kitty wasn't just a cute companion, but a living, breathing deity. Actually, come to think of it, it's not really that difficult to imagine, is it? But here's a twist. Whilst Egyptians get credit for domesticating cats, recent scientific discoveries show that cats likely become our furry roommates almost 7,000 years earlier. Now fast forward to Celtic times and you'll see a dramatic shift in how people viewed our feline friends. The ancient Celtic festival or Samhain, which later evolved into our modern day Halloween, played a big role in this change. During Samhain, the veil between the world of the living and the dead was believed to be at its thinnest. People thought spirits could cross over and they weren't all friendly, although honestly it kind of sounds like the average night out in the UK. Now this is where cats, especially black ones, started getting a bad rap. Their activity in twilight hours and glowing eyes led people to associate them with the supernatural. To be fair, look how creepy this is. And can we really blame them for fearing cats when people also thought that thunder was caused by Thor and that you had to shout and scream at an eclipse because they thought a wolf had eaten the sun? Crazy. Although maybe we haven't come that far at all. After all, there are still people who think the earth is flat. But it gets even darker. During the Druidic festival of Samhain, there are reports of black cats being sacrificed to the Lord of the Dead. But how much of this is true is difficult to know. The grim practice further cemented the connection between cats and dark magic in people's mind. It's a far cry away from the divine status that they once held in Egypt, right? So despite being thousands of years old, these traditions lay the foundations of Halloween that we celebrate today. But that's not the complete story. It gets darker. But we'll come back to that in a moment.
Now most owners assume their cats will be fine amongst the chaos, but cats love habits. Maybe even more so than those who pick their nose, talk with their mouth full, or bite their nails. You know the type, right? So for our cats, during Halloween, the noise, costumes, and unfamiliar faces can turn their usual safe spaces into a stressful environment. And honestly, who can blame them? Look at this. Anyway, here's 6 steps to ensure your cat stays safe. 1. Cats are safest inside on Halloween, protecting them from potential dangers, like pranksters, or more likely, unusual faces and loud noises. Give your cat a quiet indoor space, such as a secluded room alongside their favourite items, like blankets and toys, or set up a movie night, just you, your cat, and Hocus Pocus. 2. Halloween decorations can be a hazard. Cats are curious and may get tangled in fake spider webs or ingest harmful materials. Where possible, keep decorations out of your cat's reach. And remember that saying, curiosity killed the cat, or opt for decorative toys like we have here. 3. Even if you are used to monitoring doors and windows, for the escape artist that is your cat, accidents do happen, and with guests around, the chances of a sudden escape increases. So ensure your cat's microchip and your contact information is up to date. 4. Human sweets, especially chocolate, are toxic to cats. Keep sweets and treats in closed containers and out of their reach. If you want your cat to join in the festivities, at the end of the video we'll share some examples of treats and festive meals you can make or buy. 5. In the days leading up to Halloween, use calming products like fell-away diffusers. These release pheromones that keep your cats relaxed, so setting them up in a safe space can help. We'll pop a link in the description where you can find out more. Oh, and quick tip, we found these really useful when moving home. 6. Pumpkins are Halloween staples, but whilst fresh pumpkins aren't harmful, rotting pumpkins can upset your cat's stomach. Equally, as fun as it is to watch your cat try and summon the devil by staring longingly at a candle, they're best removed and swapped out for battery-operated versions to prevent accidents. Here's some stress signals to look out for. Before we get back to the story, if you're enjoying the video, please give it a like. Next week, we'll be creating some cat-themed pumpkin carvings. Subscribe so you don't miss that. Oh, and make sure you stick around. We've got some cool Halloween supplies, such as toys, treats, and Halloween foods coming up.
The Middle Ages marked a very dark chapter in feline history. Cats, once worshipped in ancient Egypt, now found themselves at the centre of a dangerous mix of superstition and misinformation. This period saw the intensification of cat persecution, particularly during the infamous witch hunts that swept across Europe. Now, in 1233, Pope Gregory IX made a declaration that would change the fate of cats for centuries. He officially labelled cats as incarnations of Satan. This ruling wasn't just idle talk, it had serious consequences. Suddenly, owning a cat, especially a black one, could get you in big trouble. People started seeing these innocent animals as symbols of evil and agents of dark forces. And motivated by fear and superstition, people launched into a widespread campaign to eliminate cats. 100 years later, the bubonic plague swept across Europe. Now, whilst recent scientific studies have questioned this connection, many people believe that this campaign to rid cats inadvertently allowed the rat population to explode, and more rats meant more fleas carrying the plague, and the disease spread like wildfire. It's estimated that as many as 50 million people, or half of the European population, died as a result. I guess what goes around comes around? But this persecution of cats wasn't just about animals themselves, it was often tied to a broader fear of women who were labelled as witches. Now, the church's campaign against witchcraft frequently targeted both women and their feline companions. This connection between cats and witches and the supernatural became deeply ingrained in our cultural narratives and popular imagination. In these tales, black cats were frequently depicted as witches' familiars, supernatural beings that aided in magical rituals. Some even believed that witches could shapeshift into cats. Honestly, I wish I could just shapeshift into our cats and just chill in the sun all day. Maybe people were just jealous. Oh, and that reminds me, have you played a game called Stray? It's a super cool game and definitely a must play for cat lovers. While these shapeshifting notions may seem cool or absurd to us today, they were taken very seriously in the past, and unfortunately the tragic consequence, countless cats, along with their human companions, suffered horrific fates during the witch trials. It's fascinating to think about how every Halloween, despite what have happened in the past, we still dust off these old stereotypes. And after centuries of superstition and fear, believe it or not, these once feared felines are now celebrated with their very own National Black Cat Appreciation Days. These special days aren't just about cute cat photos on social media, they're part of a bigger movement to change how we see black cats. In fact, if anything, black cats are shaking off their spooky reputation. Now, this is probably likely helped by classic films like Hocus Pocus and Sabrina the Teenage Witch, featuring Thackeray Binks and Salem, which I have to admit I've not actually seen before, and this is much to Kaylee's shock, who's now been bombarding me with YouTube videos. I don't know, maybe am I missing any other random cat shows? These lovely black cat characters have helped us turn the tide on public opinion, and they've gone from being witches' sidekicks to being the stars of the show. But why does all this matter? Now, we've read conflicting reports, but the ASPCA noticed that black cats do face challenges in adoption due to outdated myths and, unfortunately, the difficulties of just getting a good photo of them. Yet, black cats are just as loving and as sweet as any other. So next time you see a Halloween decoration featuring a black cat, remember, you're not just looking at a spooky symbol, you're seeing a reminder of how far we've come in understanding and appreciating these beautiful animals. And who knows? Maybe next time you're looking to adopt a cat, you'll consider giving a void a forever home. After all, they've been waiting centuries for their chance to shine.
Before we dive into cat supplies, remember those black cat superstitions we mentioned at the start? Here's where they came from. Oh, and let us know if you've heard of any others. So in North America, a black cat crossing your path is seen as bad luck. This likely comes from the idea that witches could transform into cats, who could cast a spell on you as they walk by. But in the UK, it's seen as lucky. Why? Well, it's a bit trickier to pin down. Interestingly, Scottish law suggests that black cats bring prosperity, whilst the Welsh even have a rhyme referencing how lucky black cats are. Maybe it's the combination of both that creates these positive views. As for the sailor superstitions, they seem to have come from practical origins. Cats were excellent at catching pests on grain ships. Plus, research suggests cats can sense weather changes due to their sensitive inner ears. Low atmospheric pressure, which precedes storms, can make cats feel restless, meaning sailors might have been able to use cats to help them prepare for changes in the weather forecast.
Now that we've cleared black cat names, let's tackle another spooky topic: Halloween costumes. While dressing up your cat as a tiny vampire might sound adorable, most cats aren't exactly thrilled to wear costumes. Instead, why not just celebrate with some Halloween themed goodies? We've done some searching and split them into two categories. We've got toys and beds and treats and food. First up, toys. A 22-piece assortment of cat toys. Luckily, it's budget friendly and includes classics like Plastic Springs, which is our personal top choice in the Cat Toy Hall of Fame. Secondly, and these are kind of cool, there's these silver vine chew sticks shaped as broomsticks. And also, if your cat doesn't react to catnip, try these silver vine sticks instead. They might actually like them. And finally, a creepy bat scratching pad. The reviews are, well, they're mixed. So it might be a buyer beware situation, but I guess it's spooky season, so why not live a little bit dangerously? Next, beds. So cats love hiding in spots, so we found 3 cool ones. This witch's hat is definitely our favourite, so at least when Halloween's over, just say you're a Harry Potter fan and problem solved. Now, on to treats and food. Always check ingredients and introduce new treats slowly. For homemade goodness, we usually give our cats small chunks of cooked chicken breast. But if you're feeling festive, we found some Halloween DIY treats from cat charities. I'll pop a link in the video description so you can go and find them. For meals, some brands like Lily's Kitchens and N&D offer Halloween themed recipes, but since we're based in the UK, let us and other cat owners know in the comments if you spot any other Halloween cat suppliers or special meals from where you're from. Sharing is caring, especially when it comes to spoiling our furry friends. If you've enjoyed these Halloween cat tips, you might be surprised to learn that cats actually need 60 minutes of playtime each day to stay healthy. For busy cat parents, that can sound like an impossible target. But what if we told you there are simple ways to reach that without extra hassle? From toy rotations, interactive feeders, and tech tricks, check out this video here where we reveal 8 cheat codes to making hitting that playtime target even easier than ever. Don't forget to share this with other cat parents, like and subscribe for more cat tips, and happy Halloween!